Folks, we're out in Fairfax, Virginia. This is A Best Choice. It's a mobile pregnancy van. The solution is to help provide the ability for for women who are pregnant, and of course for their husbands or partners to see what's going on inside the womb. You know, it's something that's often not thought about, but you know, we think of pregnancy and abortion. You hear the numbers. I mean, 115,000 abortions every single day around the world. Sometimes it's hard to believe what's happening, and you know, I think that if people really see what's going on, and of course ultrasound's one of those ways, and so here's a mobile pregnancy unit that goes around to the colleges and possibly even out in front of the abortion mills, where women can see what's inside of them. They can see their child, they can embrace that child and realize, wow, I don't want to kill my child, I want to have my child and take care of my child. So you want to support this kind of thing wherever it is. Of course, we have A Best Choice here, and you know, support the effort. We got to get these things going. It takes money and it takes volunteers, so get involved wherever you can.
People should care about A Best Choice Mobile Pregnancy Center because it's a unique ministry, and like I said, nothing's really been done like this in the Northern Virginia, DC area. We're the first, although we're not the first countrywide. This has been done in Florida and New York and California and Chicago, Pittsburgh. So it was just a matter of time until it got to Virginia. And we are hoping to be able to minister to women in distressed pregnancies, like I said, at college campuses where it's most needed, possibly high schools, abortion clinics, and also pregnancy resource centers that do not have ultrasound. We are partnering with them in hopes of bringing the truth to women there. And we hope to take this model further, hopefully into DC and Maryland. And we are, like I said, these are pioneering days for us, but it has been done before, so we hope to learn from the best. We are hoping to be on the front lines and going out to women instead of having them come to us as in a traditional crisis pregnancy center. And we hope to also work with the health services at college campuses so they can direct women to us who are in need of a pregnancy test or an ultrasound or counseling. So we hope to be a listening ear, as well as giving women supports that they need so that they can make the decision for life, whether it be a maternity home or help with their medical appointments. Also, if they need any material aid, we are hoping to be able to connect them with the organizations that can help them with that. You can find out more about us on www.abestchoice1.org, and that explains what our mission is and where we hope to be and how you can support us. It's very important that people in the church get involved in abortion, and that includes the pastors. Sometimes I believe pastors are a bit weary of stepping on toes. Abortion is a very sensitive subject, but it needs to be out there. We need to be talking about it. We need to be taking action. It's not only good enough to help the poor, but the poorest of the poor, which are the unborn children, also need a spokesperson, also need help in the form of donations to pregnancy resource centers, to causes like ours, to maternity homes, and people need to be outspoken on this issue. I think too many times there are lukewarm congregations or lukewarm pastors who would rather focus on other acts of charity, but this is a very important one. Even so much so, John Paul II had mentioned that pro-life work is the most important work in the world, and I think it hasn't gotten the attention that it merits. When you look at the Hispanic Congressional Caucus or the African American Congressional Caucus, they're much more supported than the pro-life caucus. So what we need is support on all fronts, not just not just Catholic, but also other religions as well. You know, the Jewish religion, Protestant religions. We need Republicans and Democrats working together under an umbrella to really allow the pro-life effort to soar. We are basically like a eagle with one wing if we don't have everyone on board. So it's very important to be inclusive and to make sure that everyone who is pro-life bands together and we're not divided into different groups trying to do our own thing. We need to unite, and that's the beauty of our ministry, is that we are very inclusive, and hope that we can go out and minister to as many women who have many different religious backgrounds. And the one commonality is that we see eye to eye on the fact that the unborn child is alive and that they should be protected, and it's not just one group's obligation, it's everybody's.
Hi, I'm Lisa Gregory. I'm talking with you in regards to A Best Choice, pro-life outreach ministries. And this day and age, when we know that the world is so wrought with the evils of today, and we know at the heart of a lot of that is the concept that abortion is okay, and we have that concept because of the fact that it is legal, and virtually any woman or girl can get one, you know, throughout the pregnancy in the United States, if not exactly in your town, another town. And this is an atrocity that really needs to be confronted, and confronted on the level that one-on-one counseling is really at the heart of how you can affect women and girls and change their minds, because that's what is going to be the cause for change, for good change, and for us to eradicate the concept that abortion is okay. So, members of the church, we need to get involved. Going to church on a regular basis isn't enough anymore. We need to get involved, and as Jesus said, we need to preach the gospel, and part of that involves us being active and working and partnering with a ministry such as A Best Choice, which is a ministry that is out there, you know, talking to distressed women and girls who think that abortion is the only option for them, and the choice that is really only in the forefront of their mind is a way out, and their way out is in thinking that abortion would erase the problem. And we know that a child is not a problem, it is a life, and it is a life given by God, and we need to protect, and we need to help them make the right choice. And that's why being active in a ministry such as ours and helping in some way, shape, or form, whether it be counseling, donating time or money, funding to help us get the true message out there.
I'm with Lisa and Angela, and we're out here at Paul VI High School, and you've got this RV out here which is going to do something in Virginia that hasn't really been done. Angela, why don't you tell us about this?
Hi, my name is Angela Clark. I'm director for A Best Choice Mobile Ultrasound and Crisis Pregnancy Center. We provide women pregnancy tests, limited ultrasound, as well as one-on-one compassionate counseling. And we hope to be a presence at college campuses, nearby abortion clinics, as well as pregnancy resource centers without ultrasound.
Great. And Lisa, how's this different from what's going on in Virginia right now?
Well, this is going to be terrific as far as us being out there and be able to counsel one-on-one and offer their full fledged of services in helping women, especially with the new law and ready to be in place in regards to women needing a ultrasound. This is another way for them to really see firsthand exactly that there is a life inside of them that they are carrying, and being able to counsel with them as well is going to be another effort to help really get the message to them so that they make the best choice, which is choosing life.
That sounds good. Angela, what kind of a difference do you think this will make to women who are pregnant? And do you think a lot of women really know what's inside of themselves?
I think with every pregnancy, of course, there's certain emotions that go through, that play a part in a woman's decision. I think a lot of times they're a bit fearful. They don't know what to expect. They're in the middle of their education, not sure how they're going to do it if they're pregnant. So we want to be able to show them on ultrasound that indeed, yes, you are carrying a baby. You can see the hands, the feet, the outline of the baby's head, and a lot of women have the misconception that they're carrying a blob of tissue. So this ultrasound technology really brings to life and drives home the fact that this is a baby. It's not a blob of tissue. And we also not only provide them with ultrasound, but also with the supports they need. We are in touch with pregnancy resource centers that can provide them with material aid, strollers, cribs, Pampers, formula. We can try and help them get medical care if they don't have insurance. We can also connect them with maternity homes if they don't have a place to live. So that's a very important part of it as well. Being there for her to know that she's not alone, God is with her and we are with her as well.
Well, that sounds wonderful. And, I wasn't kidding around when I said that, what's inside the womb. I mean, I think that most people know what's inside the womb. I mean, you're pregnant, you're having a frog. No, you're not having a frog. You're having a child, and that child's going to be a human child, and that's something that having something like this really drives it home. So even though a woman might know what's inside of her, when she sees it, it makes a difference, doesn't it?
Well, I think there's a lot of fear that supersedes even the reality of knowing that there's a baby inside, because we can show them the child, but then in my counseling and prior work, the woman would say, well, I don't understand what you're saying. So it's a matter of appealing to their fears, because a lot of them are, high school, out of wedlock, or fear of losing their job, or getting kicked out of their homes. So that seems to be a lot more so in more of the forefront of their minds, as well as making them realize they're carrying a baby. So it's a matter of talking to them one-on-one to let their fears out, and then also reassure them and offer them the help that they need.
Absolutely. And, often we in the pro-life movement are challenged. People say to us, well, what are you doing to help the women? And what we say is, well, the only solution the pro-abortion people are offering is death,
right.
Killing the child. And this is offering something else, isn't it?
Yes. I think we offer hope. Like I said, a lot of girls feel that they're alone. So we want to make sure that they know that we're here for them. And usually 8 out of 10 women who are abortion-minded, who see their child on ultrasound, will decide to keep their child. So it's just a matter of education. And Nellie Gray, who's with March for Life, had mentioned that this is a weapon that the abortionists are afraid of. They don't want women to see their child on ultrasound, because then that gives them that window of opportunity to change their mind and choose life.
Absolutely.
So it's a very important tool that we can use to help women make that choice for life.
And for any of you folks watching, it's important to be involved and to do something. We all have to do something. We can't just say I'm pro-life. I mean, words don't do anything, but our actions do something. And our words in the right place make a difference. If we speak to our representatives or speak to people around us, and we really want to make a difference on this, anything that we can do will make a difference, right?
Yes.
So I guess to wrap it up, the effort growing here in Virginia, I mean, you obviously want to have more than one, right? So
that's the plan.
That's the plan.
This is the first pro-life mobile unit in the Northern Virginia, D.C. area. So we do hope to be able to expand and be a presence at all the universities here, and eventually in Washington and Maryland. And an abortionist, a prominent abortionist, had mentioned that if we were to take a medical model across the country, we could eliminate abortion by 75% without overturning one law.
That'd be amazing.
So it's very powerful.
How do people find out more about this?
You can go to our website, which is www.abestchoice1.org, and you can read more about our philosophy and the services that we'll provide as we get on the road.
That's great.
Yes.
Support the effort here. We want to put these things all over the country, maybe around the world. You know, when people see what's going on, we can make a difference. What can you say to wrap it up?
Well, it is charity in action, I believe, and it's a profession of wanting to spread the truth, and it just gives you such a good feeling knowing that you are doing something for the positive good and helping women in the process.
Great. Thank you both.
Welcome. Thank you, Peter.
I'm with Dr. Kirsten Ball, and we're in front of the Mobile Pregnancy Center here, and bringing this kind of thing to the streets. I mean, first of all, this is the first one of this kind in Virginia, right?
That's right. They're in other parts of the country, but not in the D.C. area, no.
And what does an ultrasound do? I mean, a lot of women who are pregnant, of course, you probably have had one, but what does an ultrasound do, and how does that help a woman understand what the process of pregnancy is?
Well, an ultrasound image shows clearly the humanity of the unborn child. This is clearly a human being and not a blob of tissue. You can see very early on the face, which is obviously human. You can see a heartbeat at 3 weeks after conception, which is a very convincing thing to see. You can see a little bit later hands and ribs and other things that look human. But from the very beginning, as we know, the child is human, and you can see that on an ultrasound image. And what we're hoping for is that women who see this image of their children will choose life for their children.
And it can make a difference because oftentimes a woman who has a child, they really haven't personalized that. And when they see an ultrasound, it really changes it. It's a whole new dimension, isn't it?
It's incredible. We find that between 80 and 90% of women, even if they had intended to have an abortion before, once they see their child, they will choose life. They will carry the child to birth and let him or her live.
Well, even in the Bible, it talks about birth and abortion. It talks about life, the importance of life, and I think that one of the things as Christians that I really want people to understand is that we're talking about our brothers and sisters, and if we are Christians, we're talking about God's children, and that's a huge issue, isn't it? I mean, we're not just talking about, throwing away a toy or something, are we?
Every human being that was ever conceived was made in the image of God, and every one of us has a plan for our lives.
And one of the things that God had said to us, that we were told in the Bible, for we are God's workmanship, created by Christ Jesus to do good works, which He has prepared in advance for us to do. And this is an example of those works, isn't it?
I feel called. I feel led.
And you think you're going to reach the women?
That's the idea of having a mobile ultrasound unit, is we can go where they are.
Absolutely. I think it's going to make a difference. And, statistics show that the number of women who are abortion-minded, when they see their children for the first time, they change their minds, right?
That's right. Between 80 and 90%, depending on what population you have surveyed. But yes, it's a high number of women who, once they see the beauty and the humanity of that child, who couldn't possibly consider aborting.
Right. And we see the website for this is abestchoice1.org. So get involved, and you can see what's going on there. We get more footage up there. Being involved in doing things is really important, isn't it? We can't just sit back and be bystanders, can we?
It doesn't help a thing if you just sit there and say, oh yes, I'm pro-life. You need to be active. This is a battle. It's a war. And we all need to get involved and do what we can.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Thank you. A wise person once told me that pro-life is an action, it's not a word. It means getting up out of your seat and getting on your feet and coming to the battle and doing something to save unborn children who are made in God's image. nothing's going to happen as long as we keep just sitting there, and babies keep dying. It's a terrible tragedy, and we need to step up and be active. The Lord's given us a lot of different gifts, and we need to use those gifts as we can to save lives. The first thing that you need to do is to be really convinced in your heart that this is a Holocaust, that babies are dying at the rate of 3,500 to 4,000 every single day just in our country. It's really happening, and it's happening in our backyards, and we need to be concerned. First, we need to believe that it's a real war, and then we need to pray that the Lord will give us some task to do to help, because there's lots of work, and far too many people are just sitting there and being pro-life but not actually doing anything. So pray for the Lord to lead you as to what kind of involvement you can provide. Giving money is great. Helping with sidewalk demonstrations is good if you're called to that. Go volunteer with your local pregnancy resource center, because they can use lots of help. And if you are good with people, you could be a counselor. That's tremendously important, because the women who are pregnant need a compassionate person to help them and see them through the pregnancy and the things that happen around delivery and after that. Well, there are lots of different things that you can do. Please do something.